It is the 1st of October, which is a new month, and a new month means a new Recruitment Pass. And the release of this month's Recruitment Pass has included a new addition, as you can see down the right here, which is something that players have been asking for a very, very long time, which is the addition of Margaery into the legendary hero decree. Players have been asking for this for so long, specifically because buying Margaery has typically been very, very expensive and just never realistically worth it. But now through this, players will be able to get up to gold much, much easier compared to before. It's still paid, obviously, but throughout the entirety of the pass, you will receive 60 medals, and then the chests at the end as well, which can also give her medals. So you should be able to gold her in 5 events. So gold for a total of 1000 BD, which is obviously just way, way better than it was previously. The question then becomes, how necessary is it to actually do that just beyond completionism? Because with all the recent forms of power creep, she may not be as relevant in a discussion like this as I remember her being, say, 2-3 years ago now. So her tavern stats aren't very good. She has no leadership, she has no combat rate. She is, in my opinion, fairly meh in PvP. I've made several videos on this previously going over why. The main reason being is just the RNG of her disarm mechanic and how difficult it is to actually get value out of it practically, because obviously it only affects males, so you can't disarm females, you can't prevent weakness attacks, and the 2 primary enablers of bleed are female themselves, so it's practically just quite difficult. It can still get value though, particularly in mid-spender female builds, especially if you're looking to be flexible troop-wise. So Layla, Salma, Annie, Arya, Margaery. If you then have Annie and Arya weapons in the mix as well, that exaggerates that further. That is quite niche, but there is a purpose there for some players, I imagine. He does also have passive research speed. I believe this goes up to 46% at gold 4-star. So for newer accounts and accounts still looking to max out their research, there will be some passive value there through this alone. Beyond that though, the main places she's going to be good in, you have Siege of Winterfell and All Out War, where she's actually one of the best commanders in there. She is now locked only to spear stats, so it's a bit specific to spear players now, but the total coefficient of a heal here is only behind Gold Daenerys in terms of an active ability. Obviously, if you converted something like the value of Sanel or Dana's passive, their coefficient would effectively be higher. But just in terms of an active ability, hers is theoretically the second best in the RTS game modes. So that's very good, but the place she is settling down into and being quite top tier is places where her guard skills get value. So she's always been very, very good in things like training grounds. She's been one of the best training grounds commanders for a long, long time. Obviously, that isn't very relevant to most people now. The diamonds from training grounds has just been power creeped so hard. Most top tier alliances are getting 30 to 40k plus diamonds passively every day, plus there's trains. And that's only from alliance gifts alone, let alone spending or events and whatnot giving diamonds as well. But the place where she has been finding a bit of a new use, I found at least, is modern rebel formations. So there was a tweak about 1 to 2 months ago to what I believe was certain commanders' active abilities, or their guard skills generally. The main takeaway people have seemed to devise was Jean being nerfed, and you've seen Jean be cut from most rebel formations because of this. And because of that, obviously, all the formations have had to be tweaked a bit. So you've seen the likes of Rhea be added into a lot of formations against infantry rebel leaders. The reason behind that, I believe, is mostly because of this concealed blow passive ability and also the charming surprise active. So this is good against inf rebel leaders because you effectively prevent them from using their stun actives, which can really reduce your damage uptime. The Rhea's been added into a lot of formations because of that change, but also against cavalry rebel leaders. I have noticed, at least in my circles at least, that Margaery is pretty much a mainstay for what we've found to be the most min-maxed level 5 and level 6 rebel formations currently. Reason being, she is somewhat just unkillable with all her shields and whatnot, but also she has a big damage increase with the Might recovery and this favor of the Rose ability. So you can see her in formations such as, if I can scroll past me killing all my alts, stuff like this. So this will consistently hit at 40% plus for me. You can also easily 6-hit level 6s with this, with just Egbert in this slot, in Annie's spot. And if you have any premium commanders or Daenerys specifically, you can be 2-shotting level 5s, you can be 5-shotting level 6s with this formation as well. It seems just a bit better than Enzo plus healers at this point. Maybe I should do a full video going over some of these observations and changes in the meta rebel formations, but for the purpose of this video itself, there is definitely now a place for Margaery when it comes to rebels. And now with the recruitment pass, now allowing you to buy into her a lot easier than you were previously, this may be something you want to think about and look into.